Follow along on Facebook or YouTube on our Tarot for Traders channel. And it's spelled with an F-O-R, not a 4. We are now in the midst of the Strife card. So we had a bit of a holding pattern here, right? From like 11 to 12-ish, roughly. Holding pattern. Some sort of decision was likely made on the news or something like that. In any case, we're now in these lower consecutive spikes up to meet moving averages. So that's the Strife card. Let's put this is a 1 minute chart. So like falling with a spike up to hit moving averages as resistance, falling deeper, spiking up to hit moving averages as resistance. It's a pretty bearish card, the Strife card. After hitting resistance, you go bearish. Multiple failed attempts to breach key resistance is next after the Strife card. So like roughly 1 to 2. And then we hit a support level and rotate sideways along that support until we create some volatility in the last hour. What's interesting to point out is I was just looking at the 1 year, the 2021, or excuse me, the 2022 1 year reading I did back in July. And for the month, the cluster for the month of June, we have the happiness card in the high significator position. Excuse me, in it's got a high correlation, and it's in the early part of the month of June, and so that's for later. So we have it here as well. It's correlating with the high. When we look at a 1 month. It's one of the days we have an important crest. And you can see we have like a crest and a crest. And now we should be, there'll be some volatility, but we should have a steep decline and then like a bounce back and then another steep decline. And then on Monday, a gap higher with a sharp decline. And that'd be on Monday the 13th, I believe, is the month's high for the S&P 500. But you'd already know that if you are on our free mailing list on tarotfortraders.com, because you would have got the 1 month overview with the predictions of the highs and the lows and behavior by the day for every day of the month for the S&P 500, like a month, like a week or so ahead of the month. You would have known about it for weeks now. And all you got to do is sign up, guys. We send it out every month. It's got like a 98% accuracy. As well as the dailies, guys. If you're new to this, you're seeing us on TikTok. We have predictions for the S&P 500 for every single day of the trading year. We've been doing it for years. We have roughly a 98% average accuracy, and we're predicting by the hour, which means that most of the days we're predicting with 100% accuracy. Yeah. You got to see it to believe it. It's completely free. Go check it out, Tarot for Traders on YouTube. We don't just do the S&P 500. That's the one we started with when we started doing the research to create this pattern recognition system. And if that's something that really interests you, we are selling a book. I wrote a book about the system. I developed it over 22 years. It's called ESO Meta-Analysis. Basically, esoteric sciences and meta pattern recognition combined together, and you add that into that knowledge bank into your arsenal of trading information, and it gives you a real edge. It really does, because you've got the technical info that everybody already has, and you've got the news that everybody else has, which I recommend not ever watching. And then you got what we have, which you get from a completely different source. Technical is like looking at the past and using probability. We're looking at the future and basically extending a pattern that exists now into the future. And you can see, I mean, we're on our way down in the Strife, midday Strife. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely it's the way that I think about it is like most traders. So I started trading. My first day trade was in 2000. What was it? It was Cepheid, I think it was called. It was like it was the name of a star, and my friend had this dream of it, and he was like, "Yo, man, you got to buy this stock." I knew nothing. I bought like thousands of shares of this penny stock and took a shower, and it went up $12,000. I was like, "Whoa!" I just took a shower and it's up that high. Let me go check it out in a few more minutes. I went and ate some breakfast and came back and it was down 9. So I was pretty this was a pretty good learning experience. But that was my first trade in 2000, and I used to just do technical, right? I used to just be a technical trader. Then I was a stockbroker, so I didn't really trade. I just sold based on sold to people based on what I saw being a good investment, and I had a knack for it. I mean, I got people in Apple at $90 the month before the iPhone came out. I had people in Tesla since $20. These are people with their own money in their own accounts. I've never asked you for money. People have offered me their money. I will not accept your money. For whatever reason, guys, as soon as you add money to the equation, everybody's like, oh my God, no, this is evil. He can't be real. Like, psychics they don't do money. Money is energy, my friends. It's like everything else. A true psychic, should be able to predict money just like anything else. It's just energy, right? It's how you utilize that energy. So, in any case, I don't accept it because my main goal, guys, is not to predict the stock market. I mean, it's like I proved that. I proved that already. I've been proving it for years. I proved it to myself years ago. I started doing it publicly like 2 or 3 years ago, right? So, and there's plenty of data on it. It's right there. It never goes down. Even the sucky ones. You can go look at the past 2 weeks on our Mercury retrograde failures. We had so many bad ones. I've never had a string of that many bad predictions in a row like that. It just freaking nuts. But that's Mercury retrograde. That's why I don't trade it. In any case, here we are with tons of evidence. We leave all of them up, the good, the bad, and the ugly. The majority of them are 100% accurate, and we're talking about over 1,000 posts. Go check out the Tarot for Traders website. You think we have a lot of videos here on YouTube? We just started doing this. You go to the Tarot for Traders website, and we have static posts of predictions, like stemming back to 2018, and that's just when I started doing it publicly. So yeah, you can predict the stock market. You just have to stop listening to everybody tell you can't. You have to stop listening to everybody tell you how limited reality is and create your own reality, because this is your reality. It's a multi-dimensional reality. We all have a reality that's synchronized with each other's realities. So I'm not actually like predicting, I'm more manifesting the stock market. And that's crazy. How am I manifesting the stock market for all these other people? Because they're synchronized with my reality. It's a multi-dimensional reality intermingled with constant synchronicities. Once you understand that stuff, there's plenty of other things to learn. But I've been studying this since, I had a near-death experience in 2007. I blew my third eye wide open. I almost went crazy, but I made it through what they call the Akashic phase, where you come to remember all of what you had once forgotten. And we're talking about past lives and all that stuff. And I made it through. And all in the meantime, that near-death experience happened while I was studying to become a stockbroker. So, it was like they just went hand in hand. And one other belief that I have, and it's really integral to be a belief as far as developing your own abilities, is that everything happens for a reason. Right? Everything happens for a reason. And if you don't believe that, then you can't find the deeper meaning in everything. And that's what a psychic does. They draw more meaning from the mundane. They're using the same senses as everybody else. They just understand. They understand their senses better than everybody else. They've fine-tuned them better, more. Like most people just think, you're born with what you got. I mean, my friends, I was on the small bus when I was little. They told me I was stupid. I thought I was stupid. Turns out I'm extremely smart. Hey, I actually predict the stock market by the hour with a 98% average accuracy. Maybe those people telling me I was stupid are really the stupid ones, huh? It's generally the way the world works. So if everybody's doing it, I was just having a conversation with my friend about this. If everybody's doing it that way, that's most likely not the way you want to do it. It's most likely the wrong way. right? Because you have people teaching other people from like books that they learned from, and that's not how you learn to do something. You learn through experience. Experience, my friends. I questioned everything, and everybody moved on. And here I am now. I understand the cause of our physical reality. Everything in our physical reality stems from the same cause. And that's thought form, my friends. Thought form. So if you can master your thoughts, you can master your reality. And the stock market chart of the S&P 500 is a perfect measuring stick for how well I am utilizing my mind and controlling my mind properly. And here we have a steep decline here midday, coming up to we're just breaking through the 20 mark on the RSI on a one minute chart. So when that happens, I move to a 5-minute chart. I want to see a 5-minute chart where it goes, because you can get out a little early only looking at a 1-minute chart, right? And then when I feel like it's bottomed out on the RSI on a 5-minute chart, I'll then look at a 10-minute chart and get an idea where that is in the grand scheme of things. But that is definitely strife for you. And my sense is that what we'll see is we're going to turn around like 1 to 2 o'clock, somewhere in there, and we're going to bump up against probably like the 200-day moving average, or maybe not even, but we'll be bumping up against the moving average probably as resistance multiple times, not breaking through. Maybe breaking through momentarily will be like traveling along support in the afternoon, and then volatility picks up as we move into the end of the day. Yeah, and there's some big moves going on early in the morning tomorrow, my friends. Again, when we look at the 1 month, the 9th is the unicursal hexagram. Unicursal hexagram shows up at price levels that are going to be, they're marked as like levels where, like, if I open up a puts at a strike price at that level, they'll be in the money in our next notable decline. And that's like on a big decline on like a multi-day chart. But the unicursal, so it appears on the 9th tomorrow. Often what'll happen is that'll be like the pivot point right before a big decline. Not always though. In some cases we continue to move higher, but it's marking a price level for me so that I know when we do take that nosedive, we're gonna pass through that price level. So tomorrow it'll be an interesting day. I'll be able to notate important price level. And what I'll likely do is, so on the 9th, it's crisscrossing back and forth 3 times through the same price level. When I identify what that price level is, I'll then notate that as the price level that I'll have moving forward, marked off as a unicursal for the 9th. And then that'll be relevant like sometime in the near future. I'll be glad that I marked that, in other words. And you can see why I want to look at a 10-minute chart now, because you see, if we look at a 1-minute chart, it's bottomed out here, right? It's already deep in the oversold territory, and so on a 1-minute chart, it's going to start to show bullish signals. But it's just a 1-minute chart, right? On a 5-minute chart, we're still nosediving. That's why you never want to trade just based on one chart. Just a good trader's tip, guys, is you want to look at multiple charts overlapping. It's a pretty similar thing. It's kind of how I came up with my tarot. Part of how I came up with my tarot system is I already was a technical trader. I already had, taken the Series 7 exam and been a stockbroker. I was very familiar with all that stuff, right? And sorry, hold on. See, so we got like a little bit of a sideways behavior. We may have a little bit of pushback, and then we should have some more moving downward. But you can see what I'm talking about. So this is probably going to be another one of the spikes. So strife roughly started around noon. We had a spike up to resistance. So we're talking about the strife guard for today, the 8th. It's at the 12 to 1 o'clock ish time frame, and so we have from 12 o'clock here, we have a move up to hit resistance, followed by a decline with consecutively lower spikes on the way down, and those spikes spike up to use moving averages as resistance. So we have one here. We have the move to resistance here, right? Oops. Put that in horizontal. With the move to resistance, followed by a decline with a spike, another spike, but it's lower, and that spike went up to moving average. Moving average acted as resistance, fell further, and you can see so that we're getting bullish. We're getting bullish behavior on a 1 minute chart. I don't want to get shaken out. Should I be in? I'm holding puts, which are now slightly in the slightly profitable. 405 puts expiring on the 15th. And I'm gonna sit tight on those right now, guys, because I'm advised to be very prudent near the highs, right? Like it was, be careful. We're not actually going to go higher, even though it looks like that, because this decline's out of nowhere, my friends. So be prudent. And now we're in the decline, but I'm advised to trade at the very end of the day around the close. So I'll be holding tight until then, and if I decide to trade, it'll be then. And that's basically what I got for you right now, guys. I'll be back on. I do my best to get on every day around 3:10, and when I have an opportunity where there isn't a ton of construction noise going on, like they go to lunch like this, I'll pop on. So I may be able to get like regularly popping on around like noon time as well. But definitely between the 3 and 4 o'clock hours. So I'll be back on, guys. Thanks for watching, and I hope this has been helpful for you. Do me a favor and hit that subscribe and that follow button if you haven't done so already. That's the way you can really show us support. We're doing all this stuff for free. It takes a ton of time. It's not like I just pull it out of a hat. And these readings take substantially longer than just a normal psychic tarot reading, like a card reading, because there's pattern recognition, there's a whole process. So it takes a lot of time. I love doing it, but you want to say thank you, hit that subscribe, hit that follow button, and share it with your friends. We're looking to really boost the subscribers on YouTube to 1,000 by the end of July, and then that'll be like, oh, okay, well, let's keep doing this. All right, my friends, best of luck to you. And most importantly, when you make money from these readings, pay it forward. I'll see you on the next one.